Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Mood Music K, and I'm here with a new series called R&B Conversations. And this series pretty much is going to be highlighting just different topics that I find interesting. And maybe if you guys put a topic in the chat, I will talk about it as well. Today's conversation is the state of R&B. So I'll be talking about just my original and overall thoughts of where R&B is right now and why it's there. Future topics will be like my top five new school R&B artists, old school versus new school, a whole bunch of fun stuff like that. But I want to give you guys a little bit of, where my head's at and what I think about the R&B of today. So let's get this started. Rap, R&B, pop, it's so blurry. Everything is so genre-less, I guess you could say. Think about it. We got Chris Brown. Which category do you put him in? And can he fit in all three? Right. Think about The Weeknd or Ariana Grande, who are more on the pop side, and these pop stars, I believe, they use R&B producers and writers, and their music can go both ways. And award shows, charts don't know how to categorize it, but it's typically categorized as R&B sometimes. Well, Ariana Grande is more pop, but if you listen to some of her songs, and I'll do some lyric breakdowns, it has heavy R&B influence. Then you have people like A Boogie and Little TJ who are rappers who sing. Broadway, like people want to get in touch with their feelings, or if they want to hear like singing, they go to these artists, and you say why? Because they we'll get into why they choose those hip hop artists over the R&B artists. But when you have so much competition, as an R&B artist, you're not competing against you're not trying to be the best singer you can be anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. You have to battle it out with the rap stars and the rock stars and the pop stars and everything. You got to battle it out with these people, and a lot of the R&B people don't choose to live their life that way. They're creatives, and that's just not how they operate. And we'll get more into that as well. But you guys tell me in the comments, like, can you tell the difference between rap, pop, R&B these days? It all kind of starts to blend. Now, there is a distinct difference still to these categories, and if you really are a music head and you listen to different things, you're going to hear, what you like, and you go for what you like. Rap is right now on top. It's popular. And a lot of these rap artists, like I said, are singing. So why do I then need to, if I want to get in touch with my feelings, I could go listen to Juice WRLD, because he's talking about emotional stuff as well. So it's you're almost competing. You've widened the pool of competition now because of the genreless kind of thing, and now it's every man for themselves, everybody competing for each other. Similarly, at even record labels, I'm gonna go with the Bruno Mars and the pop star type R&B artists more than the R&B and soul artists, because the pop star rap type, that can cross over. I can make them pop-ish and appeal to a different audience, and then you may be R&B and soul, and I may think that that's just not enough for what I'm trying to do as a label. So it gets tough. And then when you have a full label, am I giving you all the resources and money you deserve? Maybe not, because is the return on investment going to be the same? Maybe not. So there's whether this is real or not, it is just things to think about. You guys tell me, what do you think about genreless music, and the idea that your singers are rapping, your rappers are singing, and your pop stars just fall everywhere in between? Let me know what y'all think about that. All right, the next thing I have here is marketing. So think about it. Marketing superstars. When you think of the biggest name stars, right? If we go right now, the biggest name stars are all rap artists and then pop stars. But say biggest names in R&B. A lot of the people you're thinking about is old heads, because the new school R&B people don't like to come outside. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to take the Frank Ocean approach. He changed the game by doing what he did, right? And it might be, I'm young, there might be people who've done it before him, but the idea that you put out something classic, and you just come out when you want to come out, you put out music when you want to, you don't go by the standard of what everybody's asking for. But what that does is it makes it hard to then market you. It's hard to then develop you into a superstar. So if you are Summer Walker who has social anxiety, a SZA who kind of doesn't really like the spotlight either, you have a ton of talented people not wanting to technically step in to that Beyonce, Rihanna, that's not their personality. That's not who they are. That could be, I'm sure there's been stars like that in the past, but I feel like this crop of R&B stars and maybe this generation are more like that. Now there are the Tiana Taylors and the Danny Lays and all those people, and then Danny Lay, that goes back to my last point, rap, hip hop, singing, all of it's kind of mixed, which is cool. But I feel like the marketing isn't there. And then you have people who have the traditional voice, like the Queen Najas. Y'all don't bump her like y'all should, and or the Tiana Taylors, who are a little bit more traditional but can dance and perform. It's like, I don't know, right? But I think that labels just say, you guys are great, but are you going to bring me the return on investment that I'm looking for? And I don't think that they market them as well as they could. So I think it's a label issue. I think a lot of the artists, like I said, are the types of creatives. R&B soul artists are typical, like these days, are like the type of creatives that are not trying to be in the spotlight. And the ones that do want to be in the spotlight, they get judged for it, because it's like, I feel like it's normalized that R&B artists are not those superstars. They're not those people. You're the Janae's, right? Think about how Janae's got that vibe to her. She's not like out there Megan Thee Stallion, like top of these women and men also, are not those personalities. So even when you think about Bryson Tiller, he's not out here trying to be on some of the baby stuff. Like, the rap stars are rap stars and rock stars, and R&B artists are who they are. So now it puts you again in that dilemma. It's like, hey, I want you to be better, and I want to put you guys on these pedestals, and I want you to top the charts. But I don't think those artists traditionally per se want that. I don't think that they care about that. I think that R&B artists are different types of creatives that are just more into the art. Not all, again, this is not blanket statements, but I think that a good chunk of the people who are popular are more into the art and don't want to compromise as much as people would like them to then cross over to pop stardom. And then I think the ones who do, I think that labels, just like, there's going to be another point that I'm going to get into why I think labels don't push R&B artists as much as they probably could, and maybe that speaks to it, but labels do not do their part on the promotional side of these R&B artists, because they think, again, Queen Naja, Kalani have huge social media presence, so they have marketability. But then I will say, and this is not me saying that this is right or fair, Megan Thee Stallion, Mulatto, some of these rappers, female rappers that are out now are selling sex. I'm not saying that's all they're selling. There's women empowerment, sex, and all that intertwined. These R&B artists aren't selling it. They're selling love and heartbreak. I don't know if that sells as good. No, I know it doesn't sell as good. I know love and heartbreak doesn't sell as good as sex. So if you're selling that, you kind of like, what is the label then to do, unless they want to make that investment and really mold that? Labels don't want to do all that, right? So marketing is a big obstacle, but I think we'll get better. Social media, and there are things that are going to can make this jump, but again, it's up to those superstars who want to do that. All you need is one. Rihanna's not making music anymore. Beyonce is, I feel like, at another level now. You need one. Summer Walker, Kalani, Janae, Gianno Day, even the Jessie Reyes, her, you just need one. Her there, right? You just need one or two to just explode. All right, I mean, it makes us feel, and people don't want to feel. There's a lot going on in the world today, and there's a lot going on in general, and how much of us just want to feel emotions all the time. It's already just life, and it's already hitting you so fast, and I gotta worry about feeling. I sent the playlist to a friend, and they were like, oh, this put me in my bag, put me in my emotions, and that's the goal, but at the same time, that's not the goal, right? So I feel like R&B music is great because when you are going through something that's perfect. I had an album that I listened to when I wasn't going through that. I was like, this is okay. And then when I was going through it, it played so well to me that it spoke to my soul, and it's just a different experience. And so I think when you're tapping into emotions, you're tapping into moods, that's a tough thing to do, because you can capture one person, you can capture a million, you can capture millions. It's fickle. And just depending on the time of the year, depending on, just where people are at and how they're processing life. Sometimes people just don't want to be in their bag. They don't want to hear and deal with it. And they don't want to hear and deal with it. And R&B music, it's like therapy, and I'm gonna talk about that as well in a future video. But not everybody, same way people are like, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to deal with it. The same way sometimes people avoid R&B. I think that it has immense value to hear somebody else's story, somebody else tell you a story that is similar to something that you're going through, so that you can understand that one, you're not in it alone, but two, just that camaraderie through a song. Like, yeah, girl, you know what I felt, right? And I think that people can value that a little bit more than they typically do nowadays. But like I said, this is another one that I'll do some future work or video on. But I think that this one can definitely grow in the years to come, because this newer generation seems a little bit more in touch with their feelings, and you can tell that through hip hop and what they're listening to. So it's about tapping into that. So if you have a hip hop artist that makes a song every other day, every week, they in the studio, I'm going to invest in that, because if you do pop, and then I know I'm going to be getting heat. And the way hip hop works now, it's heat. Even pop. Do y'all realize R&B? I mean, even pop music. Do y'all realize Ariana Grande did in the last 2 years, three albums? Like, it's going fast. And in that same time span of Ariana's 3 to 4 albums, we had one SZA, right? So just nothing is wrong with that. As your creative space, take 5 years. It's you as a creator. Do what you do. But then it's hard for, you have the diehard fan base, but it's hard for people to then pick up steam and follow you as an artist, or these artists, when you guys don't consistently put out music. Again, the Frank Ocean effect, right? I'm gonna follow you for life. But how do you build off of that, and how do each of you build the genre up so that it is more prominent and popular, when half of you guys don't want to make music? Even going to the big names, so like the Rihannas of the world, like people wait for that album forever. And the funny part about Rihanna is that if it isn't even an R&B album, we're going to be annoyed, right? If she can go a pop route, she can go Afro beats. A record label might not invest in R&B as much as they would invest in other things, because of the return on investment may be more in other places. And the product, the amount that you're going to produce, again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can pay for 5 of your videos to push you for this one album, when this guy over here is doing double the work in half the time. Whether it's quality or not these days, it doesn't matter. But R&B cares about quality, because it's different. You can't just throw any R&B song out there. Whereas rap, sometimes you feel like people are okay with just tossing stuff out there or repeating things. Now, I will say a person who has mastered the consistency and does it really well is Chris Brown. And I am a fan, and no matter what you think about him, 40 songs, you're like, oh, that's too much. But if he said, all right, let me split this into 2 albums and give you 2 albums a year as opposed to a 40-song album, you would be happy, right? Because it's more music, it's more, and I'm sure his numbers got to be good. And then he usually takes it on tour, and then you pump back. The people might just go to see Chris Brown and didn't hear the last album, but they're gonna listen to the last album because he performs all his songs. Then the volume, the consistency, it does matter. I think, and it matters in reference to how you can then build these people up to superstars and get them at the top of the charts. I also don't think that labels really look at R&B artists like, you're going to be my next this or that, and you're going to be my number one, because like I said, hip hop is so booming. I can get this same guy over here to make more songs half the time, and he could sing, he could rap, he could fix his voice up and do all the little funny stuff. We can make it all work, and I'm going to get more money out of him than investing my money into you, which sucks because the talent may be here. But that's the music business, that's the world we live in, that's how it's always been. And so it is something just to note. I do think consistency of the top-notch, again, not pop, not them, but like the top-notch artists, is not there. But then I also think that again goes back to the labels. The labels don't put the money into it, don't put the energy into it either. So it's twofold. I think it's definitely twofold, and I'm sure a lot of the behind the scenes may be more label than artists. And so I'm not blaming anybody for the faults of that. I just think that R&B is it's in a good place. It's not in a bad place at all. I want to say that, but I think that it's not top of the charts. It's not where it used to be in the 2000s and 90s because of these things that I laid out in this video. If you agree with me, comment, leave a like. If you disagree, comment, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be having a bunch more of these conversations. Tell me what you think. What do you think of the state of R&B? Why do you think R&B isn't as at top of the charts as it used to be? What do you think the future holds for R&B? And do you think it can get back to the top of the charts like it used to be? Do you think we can have a world where you have the Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, like a battle of like R&B divas just at the top of amazingness? Or do you think we'll stay in this realm of great creators kind of just throwing out projects when they can, and us enjoying it for what it is and just saying, all right, if this is who we have and these are our stars of R&B, we accept you for who you are and let's rock with it. I'm cool either way. But again, let me know in the comments what y'all think about my points, and if you got any other points, I will respond to the comments, and I will respond to if you put some future topics in there, things you want to hear me talk about, I will put that in other videos and consider that. All right. So it's your girl Mood Music K. And again, R&B is not dead. Holla at your girl.